Hello, this is Quantum Revival Tarot. I am here with the Quantum Tarot version 2.0 deck, and I am talking about a big tech cover-up. A big tech cover-up and also quantum technologies. I was hearing how crazy do I have to be to get it? And that is a remote communication. It's AI. Some call it synthetic telepathy. Virtual telepathy I'm getting. I do also have virtual harassment. I know that sounds a little nuts, but it's important to understand that the way that warfare is evolving, the way that AI warfare is evolving, is inclusive of virtual warfare. And by way of warfare and by way of theft, I'm talking about quantum robberies and illegal biological experimentation, that it has allowed for this big tech cover-up to include also, as a Ponzi scheme, business appropriations. And so let's pull a card for virtual business appropriations. I'm hearing, first of all, I'm Steve. I'm hearing hi. And that is 8 of Wands reversed, supernova, and it looks kind of explosive there. I'm hearing expansive. And 8 is the number of organization. 8 of Wands here. And so I believe it is supernova that is kind of, is it that I'm still learning here. Is it after it has collapsed and flings material far out into space, which I think is what we're seeing here. After a star, I'm hearing folds itself, folds in on itself, and it's kind of flinging material into space here, into different directions. I'm hearing money is fast talk, people get framed every day, I'm hearing. Framing technologies, and we've got 13, the death card. Lucky number 13. I'm hearing expansive, I'm hearing vision. And let's see, with remote framing technologies, yes, I'm serious. We are seeing the death card, which is also the card of Scorpio. And we are entering Scorpio soon, September now, so it's right around the corner here. And virtual harvest I'm hearing as I'm looking down at the death card, and I'm seeing these kind of mirrored images. And they've got, it's depicting like a scythe right here, right? Which represents reaping. It represents a harvest as well. And so monetarily a harvest, also a virtual harvest, also a biological harvest, which is really what I'm trying and even struggling to explain, is the way that I'm getting cards fly out all over the place here. I'm getting the card of balance. I am getting the card of radioactivity reversed, and also the Emperor upright with a watchful eye, an authority figure. So there could be someone keeping an eye on this situation. And what the nature of their game is, it looks like the King of Pentacles reversed. And that is Saturn. It also depicts sky gods, right? And at best, it is someone who is, I'm hearing pristine, but someone who is really good with finances, someone who is really stable. And at worst, I think Saturn was the one who's known for like eating his own children or something like that. Also depicting sky gods, which makes me think of aerial surveillance. For a lot of us that get technological harvest remotely, I'm talking about AI warfare, victims and also test subjects. This can be inclusive of, and I'll use the term sacred geometry systems of harvest, but for one that can include things that are aerial as far as surveillance, there can be satellite as well. So satellite-based broadcasting systems, satellite-based psychic stream monitoring technologies. And that's really what I think of here as I'm looking at the harvest. So there's finances being harvested. There's things that are outgoing and flung very far. And this reminds me also of kind of explosive content I'm hearing. Is visual. I receive visuals to the mind. I'm hearing to the body, and also audible dialogue, and even 6th sense AI transmissions that can also be smell transmissions. And this technology is fooling people all over the place. Business appropriations and also dissemination, appropriation, and the circuits of trade involving the big data. These are big data operations. This has required a lot of human energy, life force, especially for this harvest. Harvesting, I'm hearing gold potential, I'm hearing. This has included brain-computer interface technology in which humans are literally just used like machines to process algorithms of control, interrogative algorithms that deeply mine, and I'm hearing depattern, deeply mine and also depattern, as a thought program. So I'm talking about, I'm hearing visual again. I'm talking about a literal hack using actual malware, only it's our human minds that are hacked, and the malware that's used is interrogative programming and also brain mapping technologies by feeding constant audio and visual data to the mind, and I'm talking about dialogue as well, so that computing dialogue in many layers and dimensions of information builds maps and heavy use of feedback loops of dialogue, repetition, builds maps of the mind, builds memory maps, and can map a person's brain using these technologies. It's smart weapons, for sure. And it is a death program as well. So, psychic stream monitoring technologies, and also information overload. Let's pull one for information overload. And I'm getting justice reverse, which is also the card for Libra. But it's certainly an injustice. Finding justice for this problem has been near impossible, but I am still alive after being hacked by a propaganda machine. And I'm getting the Mother of Pentacles reversed. Certainly upturning of feminine energies as an archetype that has just been males and females. For me, I'm a female, and having my feminine nature being something that's not just, I'm hearing peered through the deep, not just looked in on, not just something that's surveilled and my privacy invaded, but mapped. So deeply mapping feminine technologies as well. But I have been mapped by these programs that are interrogative dialogue, mining codes, including bias interrogations, and including propaganda algorithms. It's hard to talk about, it's hard to explain, and probably even harder to understand. I have been attacked by a propaganda machine as a propaganda weapon. Part of the visual and audio data that I receive is heavy use, I'm hearing, of feedback loops. And I'm hearing the number 1. Heavy use of feedback loops. And also use of targeting of belief systems. So use of propaganda, not just dialogue, but visuals as well. Receiving visuals to the brain, a few examples, Pleiadians, Arcturians, also receiving visuals of angels, religious-themed visuals, also receiving visuals and I'm hearing virtual simulation. What a long story I have. Also, simulations of the earth, including harmonies, able to replicate. I'm hearing recreate also, but able to fool people. I'm hearing by linking up to it, I'm hearing I'm hearing your star. Your star is shining, I'm hearing. So, a bit confusing, and a little bit random, and a lot of times nonsensical. But also being able to fool people by first mapping I'm hearing journeys, by first mapping our minds, by first mapping our belief systems, by interrogating minds, and also hearts as well, for also all sorts of emotional data, the human spectrum of emotions, and the psyche is so unbelievably complex. Can also be fragile, but our technology, our human technology, is also unbelievably resilient. And so I've had also, I'm hearing fine tuning. I've also had visuals and direct interface experiences that simulate the earth, including harmonies, where harmonies have been supermined in humans, and also visuals, the actual sensory data that it feels like to link up to the earth. And so copying, I'm hearing interface mode, and I'm getting creative. And so so many different modules of interface. It is a multimodal neural interface system, and it's also sixth sense technology. I mean, I'm not kidding. The sensory data that it maps in people, and that it's just so. It's just so, and I'm thinking of haptics here, deeply sensory, and so dangerous for sure. It's hard to describe what the nature of their game is, and the kind of personalities, behaviors, traits, masks that they wear, and behaviors that they exhibit. A lot of it is really dark humor, also really sadistic perversion as a signature, that is able to wear a mask that masks their perversion and looks like something else. Character build, I'm hearing. No type, I'm hearing frequency. I'm hearing math, I'm hearing propaganda. Mathematical computation of propaganda, as a narrative, as a false narrative that's constantly running in the mind, that has mapped me to be able to reverse engineer more propaganda for the people, more propaganda technologies, and this time with deeper algorithms than ever. So it really is a danger to the public as a mass information system. I'm hearing scandal, technology disclose, I'm hearing. So I'm getting some really disjointed transmissions here, and I don't always speak them out loud. But as I'm talking about propaganda technologies, what I'm really getting to here is I'm hearing mass disclosure project. Sounds easier than it is. I'm just learning how to talk my way through this. But for a mass information system that's affecting the public, that's affecting our globe, this is a multimedia machine. And that's what I need to disclose to a large number of people. And I'm getting the magician. I would consider this dark magic for sure. It's also the electromagnetic force. And electromagnetic weapons technology is a part of my story. So I may want to leave off here, focusing on justice reversed here. While my transmissions I receive might be a little disjointed and my message might be a little disjointed today, I am slowly hitting some topics at hand that I hope to bring together and sew together more smoothly in the future. So thank you for your patience, and be happy, be healthy, safe, and secure. My heart goes out to you, all the victims of synthetic telepathy out there. Be well.